Harley Davidson finally revealed the brand new 2026 lineup, and riders across the country are furious. The presentation looked clean, but the details underneath tell a completely different story. The 2026 lineup was supposed to show Harley's vision for the future, yet many longtime riders believe it shows the company drifting away from the people who built the brand. Tonight, we're breaking down every controversial change in the 2026 reveal, why riders feel blindsided, and what it means for you. Stay with me. The biggest shock hits at the end. Number 7. Harley Davidson Sportster S. It carries the right badge, the right attitude, and the right silhouette. Yet everything underneath feels like a turning point that older riders still wrestle with. The machine delivers speed and sharpness that would have been unthinkable in the early 2000 era. But in that progress, some riders feel something familiar slipping away. Numbers alone never define a motorcycle, especially for riders who remember how the earlier Sportsters felt alive at idle and heavy with character on the highway. The Sportster S trades that familiar pulse for smoothness. And whether that change feels like progress or loss depends on how much a rider values tradition. The power arrives instantly, with a clean surge that demands attention from anyone used to older V-twin manners. It leaps ahead from a stop without hesitation, and holds its line in corners with a firmness that earlier generations simply could not match. Many riders admire that skill, even if they miss the raw edge. The riding position, however, forces a forward lean that older shoulders and backs may feel after a few miles, and that trade-off becomes harder to ignore on long days. What cannot be denied is the way the Sportster ES signals a shift in Harley Davidson's priorities. It shows a determination to compete with modern machines rather than leaning only on reputation. Some riders welcome that effort, especially those who want a lighter and quicker motorcycle, without leaving the brand they trust. Others see a path that moves too far from the spirit they value. That tension sits at the heart of every conversation about the Sportster S, and it reflects a broader conflict about what the next era should look like. There is hope in its capability, concern in its direction, and a sense of caution about what may follow. The Sportster S is powered by a 1250 cubic centimeter Revolution Max engine that produces 121 horsepower and 93 pound-feet of torque. It uses dual-channel anti-lock braking at both wheels, carries a wet weight of approximately 502 pounds, and has a seat height of roughly 30.1 inches. As the motorcycle market continues to change, the Sportster S represents a crossroads between power, progress, and memory. It proves the company can still build something sharp and surprising, but it also raises questions about what might be lost if heritage becomes an afterthought. The next machine on this list carries that conversation forward in a different way, blending familiar lines with updated engineering that aims to honor both past and present. Take a moment to support the channel by liking this video and subscribing if you want more straight talk the way real riders appreciate it. Share your thoughts as we go, because your experience helps guide these breakdowns better than any press release ever could. Number 6. Harley Davidson Nightster Special. There is a reason the Nightster Special sits in a place that older riders understand well, because every generation has seen a machine arrive that tries to honor its roots while stepping into a new era. This one leans toward accessibility and modern manners, yet it remains grounded enough to feel familiar to anyone who spent decades on American iron. It is the kind of motorcycle that welcomes riders who want less weight, real control, and a balanced approach to everyday roads. The design keeps the stance low and purposeful, but its true identity emerges when you understand how the engine and chassis work together. Numbers only tell part of the story, because the Nightster Special was built with riders who value balance over brute force in mind. It does not try to dominate highways with raw muscle. Instead, it offers a controlled and approachable feel, something that many older riders appreciate when they want a lighter machine for shorter rides or city days. The power arrives smoothly, without surprises, and the handling stays predictable even when the road turns rough. That kind of stability matters to anyone who has ridden long enough to know how fatigue builds on unforgiving frames. Comfort was treated with more care here than many expect from a compact model. The Nightster Special includes a factory-installed passenger setup that does not feel like an afterthought. Riders who have spent years carrying luggage or a companion on larger touring machines will notice the difference in agility. It is easy to maneuver in parking lots and tight spaces without the strain that comes with heavier frames. For older riders, this means a chance to keep enjoying the road, even when they prefer less bulk. The Nightster Special also signals how the industry is shifting. Manufacturers are designing machines that blend classic lines with modern features, and this model sits squarely in that conversation. It keeps the silhouette familiar, while quietly adjusting to new expectations for safety, control, and efficiency. Some riders may wish for more rumble or a stronger pulse from the engine, yet others see value in a motorcycle that asks for less physical work over time. That trade-off sits at the heart of today's debates about modern design. The Nightster Special runs a 975 cubic centimeter Revolution max engine, delivering 89 horsepower and 72 pound-feet of torque. It features a dual-channel anti-lock braking system, a wet weight of about 483 pounds, and a seat height measuring around 28.1 inches. In many ways, the Nightster Special proves that a lighter and more manageable machine can still carry the spirit of the brand. It offers a path forward for riders who want a motorcycle that respects their years on the road while giving them something new to explore. The next entry on this list adds more strength and attitude, shifting the focus toward power and muscle without abandoning control and practicality. It sets the stage for a machine that delivers stronger resolve on open roads and offers renewed trust to seasoned riders everywhere today. Before we move on, check the description for the same reliable gear and accessories I ride with every single day. Number 5. Harley Davidson Lowrider S. There is a certain kind of motorcycle that speaks to riders who have spent decades chasing strong engines, steady handling, and the kind of attitude that refuses to fade with age, and the Lowrider S stands firmly in that category. It carries the familiar lines that older riders recognize, yet it adds a depth of performance that keeps it relevant for today's changing roads. This machine does not chase trends or soften its edges. Instead, it steps onto the pavement with clarity about what it was built to do, and that honesty is part of its appeal. The low stance, the long reach, and the strong response give it a character that feels grounded in real riding rather than marketing talk. The real experience of the Lowrider S begins when the torque rises off idle with the kind of strength that older riders instantly understand. It does not hesitate. It does not soften its delivery. It pulls with the familiar surge that many have missed as engines across the industry become smoother, quieter, and more restrained. The Lowrider S reminds riders of the days when a machine talked back through the bars and told the truth about its power. On open roads, that honesty brings comfort because predictable strength allows a rider to settle into a rhythm that lasts from sunrise to sunset. That connection matters deeply to riders who value the road for what it has always given them: clarity, space, and steady forward motion. Handling has always been a defining trait of this model, and the current setup deepens that reputation. The inverted front end keeps the front tire planted in corners, and the monoshock holds the rear steady without drifting or sagging. Riders who grew up fighting older frames through twisty back roads will notice the improvement immediately. It takes less effort to guide the Lowrider S through a long sweep or a tight bend, and the reduced strain means more comfort over the miles. Older shoulders and wrists appreciate the support, even if the riding posture still leans toward the aggressive side. The Lowrider S uses a 1923 cubic centimeter Milwaukee 8 engine that produces approximately 114 horsepower and 128 pound-feet of torque. It is equipped with anti-lock braking on dual front discs, and a single rear disc carries a wet weight near 670 pounds and has a seat height of about 28.1 inches. The Lowrider S offers a meaningful balance between strength and control at a time when many motorcycles drift toward extremes. It reassures riders who want modern capability without losing the familiar heartbeat that guided them for decades. It stands as a reminder that some parts of motorcycling still know their purpose, and that a machine can evolve without abandoning its foundation. The next entry builds on that idea with a broader sense of utility, proving that performance and long-distance comfort can coexist when the engineering aims for both. Number 4. Harley Davidson Fat Boy. Its broad stance, heavy presence, and unmistakable profile reflect a style that older riders have trusted for generations. The Fat Boy was never meant to whisper down the highway. It was built to carry weight with pride and deliver the kind of steadiness that long roads demand. That foundation remains intact, even as modern updates reshape the riding experience in ways that matter to those who know what genuine stability feels like after thousands of miles. Riders who have spent decades on heavier American motorcycles understand why the Fat Boy still holds a meaningful place in the lineup. The strength comes not from sudden bursts of acceleration, but from controlled torque that answers each twist of the throttle with calm authority. That predictability helps a rider settle into long stretches of highway without constantly bracing for sharp changes in response. The Fat Boy has always behaved like a motorcycle that carries the road rather than reacts to it. And that confidence is something seasoned riders value deeply as the years pass. Handling remains a point of constant conversation, because the wide tires and solid wheels give the Fat Boy a personality unlike any other motorcycle on this list. The steering demands deliberate input, encouraging riders to commit to each turn rather than flick through corners, as if chasing sport-inspired precision. Riders who appreciate a grounded and stable ride will find comfort in that firmness. The frame stays steady under pressure, and the broad tires track consistently even when the pavement grows uneven. It offers a sense of weight that supports rather than overwhelms, something older riders often look for when road conditions shift without warning. Comfort has improved in small but important ways. The riding posture remains neutral enough for long days, and the low seat height supports easy stops in crowded traffic or awkward parking positions. Older riders often speak about fatigue building in subtle ways, and the Fat Boy reduces that strain by keeping the rider's body aligned without forcing unnecessary lean or stretch. The wide handlebars provide natural leverage, easing slow-speed maneuvering, even with the inherent weight of the motorcycle. The Fat Boy is powered by a 1868 cubic centimeter Milwaukee 8 engine, generating roughly 104 horsepower and 126 pound-feet of torque. It includes dual-channel anti-lock braking, a wet weight close to 700 pounds, and a seat height around 26.6 inches. What gives the Fat Boy lasting value is its ability to balance presence with purpose. It carries memories of earlier generations while adapting to the realities of modern roads. It remains loyal to its heritage without ignoring the changes that experienced riders care about today. The next motorcycle on this list continues that conversation by offering a stronger connection to long-distance travel, creating a bridge between tradition and touring comfort that many riders look for as the miles continue calling. If you value honest analysis built for riders who care about long-haul comfort, real torque, and the truth behind every model year, make sure you subscribe so you never miss these deep dives into what actually matters on the road for experienced riders. Number 3. Harley Davidson Road King Special. This model has always belonged in that second group. It stands as one of the few machines that still honors the long-haul traditions older riders remember, without losing the stripped-down attitude that gives it character. The Road King Special does not rely on a fairing or a screen to shape its identity. Instead, it leans on the open wind and the strength of its frame, carrying forward an unfiltered riding experience many riders still trust. It is a motorcycle that remains rooted in classic lines while accepting the reality that modern engines and safety features now shape the experience in ways no one could ignore. Out on the highway, the Road King Special speaks to riders who value stability more than sharp aggression. It carries its weight with confidence, allowing the motorcycle to settle into long stretches of road without wandering or drifting when crosswinds rise. Riders who remember the older touring frames from earlier decades will notice how much stiffer and more predictable the current setup feels. The Road King Special responds to steady input rather than quick flicks, rewarding patience with a stable and grounded ride that older shoulders and wrists appreciate. It is the kind of motorcycle that encourages a rider to relax their grip and settle into the rhythm of the road, because the machine stays true under them. The absence of a fixed fairing is both a choice and a statement. Riders who grew up valuing the raw, open-wind touring style understand why the Road King Special still exists. It delivers the experience of riding without filters, where the wind, temperature, and sound become part of the journey rather than something to hide from. For seasoned riders, that exposure feels familiar. It connects them to earlier years when touring was defined by endurance and awareness, rather than layers of electronics and insulation. The motorcycle remains honest in that way, offering a direct relationship between rider and road. Comfort remains a quiet strength of the Road King Special. The seating position stays neutral, allowing a rider to maintain long hours without the slow buildup of fatigue that some more aggressive stances create. The low seat height supports confident footing in traffic or during tight parking maneuvers, something older riders value as balance becomes more important with each passing year. The saddlebags provide real touring utility without overwhelming the silhouette of the frame, keeping the motorcycle both functional and true to its minimalist style. The Road King Special uses a 1,868 cubic centimeter Milwaukee 8 engine, producing 93 horsepower and 116 pound-feet of torque. It is supported by dual front discs with anti-lock braking, carries a wet weight in the mid-700s, and offers a seat height of about 27.3 inches. The Road King Special earns its place on this list because it continues to respect the long-standing traditions of open road travel while adapting just enough to remain dependable for modern conditions. It honors the kind of riding many older riders still prefer: steady, unfiltered, and built on trust rather than trends. The next motorcycle in this countdown expands on that commitment by offering deeper touring comfort, greater wind protection, and a broader sense of long-distance capability shaped for riders who still chase the horizon with purpose. Number 2, Harley Davidson Road Glide. It has long lived in that final category. It remains a symbol of long miles, strong engines, and deliberate engineering shaped by riders who understand how demanding open roads can be after decades of real travel. The Road Glide earned its place, not through flash or fashion, but by proving itself mile after mile, year after year, in weather and wind that lesser machines struggle to endure. It stands tall as a machine meant for riders who measure their time on the road not in hours, but in states crossed and experiences gathered. What sets the Road Glide apart is its frame-mounted fairing, a design that older riders often swear by. Instead of turning with the handlebars, the fairing remains steady as the motorcycle leans, reducing wind pressure on the rider's arms and shoulders. That single change transforms long-distance comfort in ways that only seasoned riders can fully appreciate. When a rider has spent entire days pushing through strong crosswinds or unpredictable gusts, the calmer front end of the road Glide becomes more than a convenience. It becomes a trusted companion that takes the strain out of long hauls. The difference between ending a day of travel tired or drained can rely on whether the wind fights you or flows around you. The Road Glide also maintains a thoughtful balance between technology and tradition. The cockpit remains clean and practical, with controls that stay reachable and clear even when the road turns rough. Riders over 50 often comment that some modern motorcycles bury simple functions behind layers of unnecessary interfaces, but the Road Glide avoids that trap. It respects the needs of riders who want tools, not distractions. The bodywork is sculpted for stability rather than flair, and the saddlebags open easily without forcing a rider to fumble in awkward positions. Practical choices like these show that the motorcycle was shaped by people who understand long-distance fatigue and the importance of predictable ergonomics. Comfort is a major reason the Road Glide earns respect. Its seating supports natural posture older riders value on long stretches. The low seat height boosts confidence at stops, while the suspension smooths rough pavement and keeps the motorcycle steady, turning long trips from endurance into genuine enjoyment for riders. The Road Glide is equipped with a 1923 cubic centimeter Milwaukee 8 engine, delivering 105 horsepower and 130 pound-feet of torque. It uses dual-channel anti-lock braking on dual front discs, and a single rear disc has a wet weight near 820 pounds and a seat height of roughly 26.6 inches. The Road Glide represents a kind of touring truth that older riders recognize immediately. It is a motorcycle built to carry weight, carry distance, and carry memories without drifting from its purpose. It honors the long roads that shaped earlier generations, while offering the capability needed for today's demanding travel. The next and final entry builds on that foundation with a slightly different approach, focusing on iconic lines and a deeper heritage connection that speaks to riders who want comfort, presence, and unmistakable tradition in every mile they travel. Number 1. Harley Davidson Street Glide. There are motorcycles that become popular for a season, and then there are motorcycles that carve out a place in American riding culture so deeply that they become part of the landscape itself. The Street Glide is one of those machines. It remains a fixture at rallies, fuel stops, state lines, and long-haul journeys because it captures a balance older riders appreciate: real touring, comfort, wrapped in unmistakable style. The Street Glide continues to draw in riders who want a machine that can cross a continent without feeling like a touring bus, yet still deliver that familiar pull, that deep mechanical pulse, and that sense of presence only a true American Grand Tourer can offer. Part of what keeps the Street Glide at the center of Harley touring culture is its fairing design. Riders who came up in the 90s and early 2000s remember how the Batwing silhouette became the signature of long miles, steady wind control, and a cockpit that always felt familiar. The fairing turns with the handlebars, giving the rider direct control over airflow and road feedback. Older riders who value front-end connection appreciate that sensation. It brings a closer, more personal riding feel that makes twisty back roads more engaging, while still offering enough wind relief for long stretches on the interstate. That blend of comfort and control remains the heart of the Street Glide's identity. The saddle shape supports riders who value posture during long miles, offering comfort modern aggressive designs often ignore. The Street Glide's generous seating, natural handlebar reach, and roomy floorboards allow easy adjustments. Many older riders say it feels built for their shoulders, knees, and backs, because Harley refined its ergonomics through decades of real touring feedback that riders continue appreciating. Practicality also plays a part in the Street Glide's appeal. The saddlebags open easily, even when wearing gloves, and hold enough for weekend travel without forcing compromises. The dashboard layout stays clear and functional, avoiding the clutter that frustrates riders who prefer simple, reachable controls. The lighting system keeps the road visible even during late-night travel, giving confidence when weather or fatigue begins to set in. Everything feels designed with long-term use in mind, not short-term novelty. Where the Street Glide truly stands apart is in its emotional connection with riders who value heritage. This motorcycle carries a line that traces back to the classic American touring silhouette, older riders grew up admiring. It represents a time when motorcycles were built to last through decades of ownership, not years of trade-ins. Many riders see the Street Glide as a bridge between what Harley once represented and what many hope it can be again. A builder of machines that honor the past without abandoning the future. The Street Glide carries a 1923 cubic centimeter Milwaukee 8 engine, producing 105 horsepower and 130 pound-feet of torque. It includes dual-channel anti-lock braking with dual front discs and a single rear disc, features a wet weight around 811 pounds, and has a seat height of approximately 28.1 inches. The Street Glide remains a reminder that even as the market shifts and new engines enter the conversation, there is still space for a motorcycle built around stability, comfort, and tradition. It stands at the top because it continues to represent something older riders believe in. The earlier entries on this list show the push and pull inside Harley's modern lineup, but the Street Glide ties everything together with clarity and purpose. That's the real story behind Harley's new 2026 lineup. The good, the bad, and the parts they hoped riders wouldn't look too closely at. But at the end of the day, it's riders like us who keep this brand honest. So I want to hear it straight from you. Did Harley move forward, or did they walk away from what made these bikes great? Drop your take in the comments, because your experience tells the truth better than any press release. If this breakdown helped you, hit like, subscribe, and share it with another rider who deserves the facts. Ride safe, brothers.